What's good, everybody? Thank you so much for hanging with us. Max, Donovan, Molly, all here. Where's Stephen A?
This I didn't expect. I expected Woodson. Yes, he's nowhere to be seen, of course, today. See if Will Kane shows up.
No,
but where's Stephen A?
Seriously, though, where's Stephen A? With that bad man's jersey, celebrating the Packers win, or more accurately, the Cowboys lost. The Pack move on, and the Cowboys season is over. Yes, the accident waiting to happen.
Let it wash over you.
It finally happened. Stephen A., would you get out here, please?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
You feeling all right?
What's up? What's up, man? What's going on, me?
I haven't seen him this happy in years.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up, Mollywood?
How we doing?
What's up, Mollywood? How y'all doing?
We're good.
Everybody all right?
Yeah.
Y'all sure?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to any Cowboy fans? That's what I want to know. Have you spoken to any Cowboy fans?
Yeah.
Listen, let me get right to it because I got to get this out my system.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whether it's the Amber Alert or something else, but I made a few calls. Let me give you a taste of my Rolodex, Max Kelly.
Okay.
My man Denzel Washington, I changed it up. I can't find him. Allen Iverson, nowhere to be found whatsoever. Nowhere to be found. My boy Omar Evans, I can't find him. I can't find him.
They were so easy to get.
Some of my boys from school, Winston-Salem State, North Carolina, HBCU. My man Pete Whitfield, some big-time security guy in New York City. Text me every day about the Cowboys. Can't find him. Can't find him. And then I reached out to my man Al Lumpkin. Works for the Philadelphia 76ers. Great guy. Dear friend. Talk smack about the Cowboys all the time. He was the one person that responded to me. And what did he say? Stephen A., we gonna win a Super Bowl within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? You see what I'm trying to say?
Here we go.
5 minutes. Not 5 minutes.
Wait till next year.
This is unbelievable. But this is a beautiful day. I hate to say to the world, I told y'all so, but I did. What can go wrong will go wrong. And boy, did it yesterday. How about them Cowboys? Oh, sorry. Just like I said y'all was. You stink. You Cowboy fans out there, you're miserable today. I love it. I am having a ball with it. And I'm just getting started. Let's go.
Well, let's get into it. So the Packers are on to Atlanta. The Cowboys going home. Stephen A., break it down for us. What happened?
Well, what happened was Aaron Rodgers. That's what happened. The bad man. Say it with me, man. He's a bad man. This is what happened. You understand? Now we got to do, was it 3rd and 20? And what does he do? He turns around and throws a 36-yard pass to Jared Cook, scampering out of the pocket to the left, throws it down the left sideline. I mean, just a perfect pass. Yeah. See, these are the kind of accidents that I talk about that will happen to the Cowboys. Because usually, as great as Aaron Rodgers is, usually in that particular situation, something like that might not happen. But against the Cowboys, it will happen. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Dez Bryant, all showed up to play. Deserved mass credit, no question about it. But let's take this into consideration. Aaron Rodgers did not have Jordy Nelson, did he? No. That's your number one wide receiver. He was out. The receivers were relatively soft. The Dallas Cowboys were pushing them around a little bit, doing a lot of stuff, disrupting their routes or what have you. Your running game was relatively non-existent because Ty Montgomery wasn't 100%. You had all of this stuff going on. Your offensive line, I forgot who it was, but all of these guys. That's right. Yeah, he went down, all right? Bakhtiari, I believe it was. Yeah, these guys go down, okay? So you got an offensive lineman down. You got a running game that's non-existent and not 100% healthy. You got your number one receiver out, okay? But still at all, somehow, someway, because Jason Garrett started things off in the first quarter on that first drive, refusing to run the football in the 3rd and 2, refusing to go for it on a 4th and 2 that ultimately set the tone. You got Ezekiel Elliott running the ball, running roughshod all over them, and he looked like an absolute monster. But somehow, someway, you're going to get Dak to try and throw the football. He throws an incomplete pass. drive. You decide to go for the field goal instead of going for it on fourth down on your home turf. It set the tone, and ultimately Green Bay was able to capitalize. Dallas did recover, ultimately ended up tying the game, but it ended up proving to be too much to overcome. Like I predicted.
Look, the answer is Aaron Rodgers. That's what happened to the Cowboys. And that's why people were saying whoever wins Packers-Giants might come out of the AFC. Because, the NFC.
Did you bring the Giants back?
That's right. I got more for you later on, too. But that's why. Because if it's Aaron Rodgers, Giants had a defense, but Aaron Rodgers can overcome anything. The best defense in the league, the best team in the NFC. He is the closest thing to Michael Jordan I've seen on a football field in the sense that he can take a team with less than and make it better than it ought to be because he is unstoppable. There is nothing you can do. Even the interception. Monte Adams needed to go to that ball. I think he heard that safety coming. He heard some footsteps, looked a little tentative to go make a play on the ball. That was the interception. Not perfectly thrown, but not the worst thing I've ever seen either. I told you Jared Cook, by the way, was going to be the X factor. He made that amazing play, which made up for...
You did. Props to you on that.
But it's Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he was helped. Yes, he was helped by the Cowboys. Why you clock the ball, Jason Garrett? Why you clock the ball and give Aaron Rodgers time to beat you? It doesn't make sense. Yes, he was helped by that. But basically, the Cowboys ran into the best player on earth by such a measure, it's really not fair to compare other players to him. That's what happened to the Cowboys.
Well, we can say Aaron Rodgers, but let's go to the beginning of the game. They stopped running the football. It seems like everything we heard leading up until this point that they were just going to run their offense. If they put 8-9 in the box, they still were going to run the football with Ezekiel Elliott because they knew they could be successful. They've done it before earlier in the season. To me, it seemed like they got pass happy. Everything that they watched in that Giants game, they thought they could take full advantage of the same thing. Odell Beckham and Shepard, those drop passes, they felt like their receivers would make those catches. Dez Bryant would be a mismatch against any of their DBs, and which he was. And then Jason Witten the same way. Cole Beasley the same way. Williamson and Bryce Butler. The thing to me is we didn't know who that Dallas football team was early on. They started passing the football. And now when you find yourself behind against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, now you got to dig back into the bag of tricks and go back to the basic offense. And that's why they got back in the league. Look, it was so much conversation of when will we see Tony Romo? No, it's not about Tony Romo. It's about Scott Linehan in that first half. The question that I had, and I talked about it Friday, it was more about Dom Capers and Rob Marinelli. What are you going to do to apply pressure on the opposing quarterbacks? Rob Marinelli, for the first time that I've seen, consistently blitzed. And then when he stopped blitzing is when he started killing that Dallas Cowboy defense. You got a sack on him toward the end of the game. Why not blitz him again? If you don't blitz him, he's going to sit back in that pocket for 6 or 7 seconds, and it's going to kill your secondary.
And by the way, he'll kill your secondary if you do blitz him. I don't think there's a way to...
Well, they were running those slants, and their DBs started jumping inside. That's why Aaron started getting frustrated.
Well, he was bathey a bad play on special teams. He started getting... But when Rodgers, no matter what you do to Rodgers, he's going to figure out a way to beat you. I do agree with you, Donovan. And listen, I've never, questioned your football knowledge, but I do agree with you that going away from Zeke strategically made no sense.
And,
he was
and then if you get behind, you have to throw the ball. So it's why would you not run the ball initially?
When they were behind.
But that's your bread and butter.
See, we can engage in hyperbole and histrionics when it comes to me and all of that other stuff, but that doesn't mean that my words should not be taken seriously. When I sit up there and I tell you that they are an accident waiting to happen, what do I mean by that? That you deviate from what works, that you find a way to get into your own way. You're the Dallas Cowboys. Not only were you not running the football enough early, but also take into account the fact that you were not blitzing early. You were doing it in the second half, but in the first half, you didn't wake up until you were down 21-3 to Aaron Rodgers. Why would you do that? And then even when you blitz, you got to remember something. When you're blitzing, it's not just about the matter of getting to the quarterback, even though you're going to also leave your secondary vulnerable. It's also about putting a hat on dude and breaking dudes down, putting a body on them, making sure you hurt cats. And it was a hurt team. So if you got your running back hurt, you got an offensive line hurt, and you got your leader wide receiver that's out, and you got a bunch of softies at the wideout spot that are struggling to get loose from a suspect secondary that was the Dallas Cowboys. If there were ever a reason to bring the rain towards Aaron Rodgers, that would be it. So Marinelli dropping that ball in the first half obviously was something that resonated. Scott Linehan. Ezekiel Elliott is averaging. more than 5 yards to carry. He